Hello everybody, I'm back today. I'm gonna do show you a new product that's came out. It's from Nhaler, and a lot of you are probably familiar with the Reactor Tank, and probably a lot of you passed it by because of the price, but I've kind of got some good news for you here. They've got a new Atomizer and a tank tube for the Reactor Tank. This is what you get when you order it. Didn't have that many colors in stock at the time. I had to get the blue. I kind of like the smoke color better because it goes with everything. And but they had several colors, but they were just out at this point in time. Then here's the Atomizer. This is how it comes. It's got this little cartridge on there. I'm guessing that it's primed. It's ready to go when you get it. They probably put a little VG or PG and stick this cap on there, then it's nice and moist and ready to go when you get here. Maybe they even put it on something and check it to make sure it fires. I don't know, just guessing. That would be a nice thing if they did though, huh? And they know they was all good. It's this is a bridgeless Atomizer, and this one was the one that came with it's 1.5. Then you can order them. They're single coil. You can order them in 1.5, 2 ohm, and 2.5 ohms. And I ordered a 2.5, and then when I got the blue tank, I had to get a 1.5 ohm. That was the only ones that came with this collar, so that's what I was stuck with. The Atomizer itself is $9. The Atomizer and tank upgrade is $10. And what the difference is, if you have the original setup, see the tubes are a little bit shorter, and I thought was nice, they didn't gouge you. I mean, they come with this new single coil Atomizer that it's what it is. It's a little bit longer than the old one. Let's line them up side by side here. So you can see there's a little bit of difference in the size there. And so for $1 you get a new tank tube. And so this will work with your stuff. And you can still order the dual coil, shorter ones that came with the original tank. You can still order those. It's not like obsolete or anything that I know of. Right now they still carry them, so I'm guessing they're going to continue to carry them. So if you like the dual coil Atomizer, then you can still get that. But for $1 they throw in a new tube, and you can use the different ohms in the single coil, which was pretty decent of them, I thought. There's a little bit of difference in the two the Atomizers. The old one, see, that had a bridge in it. The new one, no bridge. It's a sealed 510 connection on the bottom, where the other one has the little air hole that runs through there, and then, or that's just the connector, and they both have an air hole on the side, just one. This dual coil had 2 holes in it. I guess maybe it took 2 holes to feed the dual coil. The single one has a 1 hole. So that's about the size is the biggest difference. Okay, so I've got my old tank disassembled, so we'll put the new tank together. And I had a little trouble when I first did it, and I'll show you what I ran into. Maybe you can kind of look out before you have the same mistakes that I did. Okay, it fits really nice and tight, so there shouldn't be no leaks. And of course, that's according to your O-ring, as long as you haven't screwed that up. That's the bottom. Okay, now the top. See that O-ring inside of there? There's a good shot of it. That's one of my complaints about this tank. It's you can't use any tank tools on it. You see, it won't fit into there. So this is my slap your mama. It won't work. I have the Sami mod version, the little plastic one, Durban plastic that's cut off at at an angle so you can, it's not as nice as this, but it works too. But it won't fit in there. It's bigger than this thing. Well, I guess the very bottom part of it, but take my word, it won't fit in there. So you have no way to put the Atomizer in there without taking a chance to tune up your O-ring, and that's what I did. Was I couldn't get it to fit in there right. When I would stick it in there and get this on, it kept pushing the Atomizer back down to where the hole was below this, so it wouldn't work right. And when I finally kind of started investigating what was going wrong, I seen that O-ring had a couple little edges chewed off, and it was stopping the Atomizer from going all the way up inside of there. And it was just a little bit, but it was enough. So I took that O-ring out and cleaned the O-ring up, and boy, let me tell you, it's a booger to get that thing back in there, because it's quite a bit bigger than what that is, and it wants to not go down in there. But I took a toothpick and eventually got it in there with a little bit of cussing. Okay, so let's put the new the Atomizer or Atomizer back on. Here's another, we'll get to this here in a minute, but I'll show you this why I got it apart. Here is a, oh, that's the old one. Let's set the old one aside. We're done with that. Now we'll get mixed up no more. Okay. This is a standard size Smoke Tech Atomizer. See, it's about the same size, just a little bit shorter, maybe a millimeter shorter. It's not very much. Okay, 32nds of an inch or something. Okay, let's take a look at this. Now let's put our, slap your mama in there. Thread that through there anyway, so we can not mess up the bottom O-ring. Now we'll get that. One of the things which wasn't so great about the old, which I guess I could show that. Let's show that first while we're at it. I just thought of this, and we'll add this to the review. Here's the old Atomizer that goes in the regular reactor tank. Well, I can't show it because I'll have to take everything all back apart when we ain't got time for do all that. You can see on my review, and there was a couple other reviews on there, the holes were a little bit above the bottom. So you kind of had to shove your tank up a little bit. So far, you know, it just didn't quite look the way it ought to look to get all your juice out of the bottom of the tank when you were vaping it. And that's another good thing about this is it's you got a little bit longer Atomizer, so you got a little bit more volume. So there, we shoved it in, got him right up there to where the 0 is, and I use a 510 to Ego adapter to do a lot of this stuff because it gives me something to grab onto. I don't like doing it on my mod because I don't want to screw anything up. Not that I would, but you just never know. And see, it goes up too high, but it won't come out. If one of you vendors would make a tank tool that would thread on there and it'd be good and tight, and you wouldn't have to worry about it going through, and it'd stop the Atomizer at the very bottom of the threads, and all that would work out. That would be with a little bit of a handle, that'd be a good invention. I'd buy that. Okay, so we got that on there. Now let's get it kind of set up. Let's throw some juice in there. Getting her all filled up. Boy, some of these juice bottles are hard to squeeze, aren't they? Usually I take a little drill bit that I got and run it through it real quick just by hand and waller the tip out so it works better, but it's not that big a deal either. Okay, here we got her. Not quite all the way full, but got plenty in there. It looks like I got it a little pulled through there. Okay, Now we've got that. So I put a napkin on the bottom because you're gonna make a little bit of a mess if you don't. Okay, we got that in the tank tap on. Kind of wiggle it around. There, we got it to pop into place. Let's take our Atomizer, or our deal off the bar, connector off the bottom, our adapter. There, you can see we got it on there. There's your hole. See, it's a perfect spot, and because of the way that's made, the way it's kind of countersunk at the top or cut at different bores or whatever you want to call it, it's that atomizer can only go so far in there, and then so that little bit of feature, it doesn't allow you to, you can't push that down and push it past the O-rings on the bottom. Okay, we got all the overflow or squeeze out of there, whatever you want to call it. Now let's give it a vape. And this one was the 2.5 ohm, and I tested it on my multimeter, and it tested at 2.6, 2.7 with the, you figure in the wires on your probes and all that stuff. That I'm sure that's plus or minus a little, so probably came right out at 2.5. Alright, let's see, I use my Altoids box there. Now I got it set at 4.7. Right, yeah. Let's throw a, we kind of got a blue tank, we got a blue drip tip, and a blue Altoids box. Let's see how it vapes. Boy, works really good. Nice flavor, nice vapor production. I think I want to turn that up a little more even. Oh, that's down. 4.7. 5.2. Let's see what it runs at 5.2. Runs really nice. So the new single coil cartomizers with the tank upgrade is it's a nice deal. Okay, now here's the really cool part. I showed you that compared to a regular cartomizer is just a little bit shorter. Okay, here's what's really cool is, if you don't want to shell out $67 for a atomizer tank, you don't have to. It works in any tank. Here's a Reactor tank, and let me show you. I'm not going to take it all apart. It's got juice and everything in it and make a mess. It's unnecessary. But just take my word. This is the 1.5 ohm atomizer that came with the tank upgrade. There's a little bit of stuff on the bottom of that, huh? Got juice all over my fingers. Okay. Now, let me get something I can point with here. Let me see where it's at. Okay, you can just see it. You look inside the window, see right there? That's the little juice feeder hole that's inside of that atomizer. And that works in the Reactor Tank, and you can see the Reactor Tank is kind of long. Here's a little mama. It's about the same size outside to outside. Maybe the Reactor Tank is the way the caps fit on there. It's a touch longer, but it just goes to the edge, maybe a tiny bit below it, but it won't leak. And it works. As I just said, it won't leak. See there? And I didn't use it in the little mama tank, but I had it in there, and I looked at it, and it fits in there just right. So I'm saying pretty much any standard size cargo tank that you got, you could get one of these single coil atomizers from Nhaler.com, and now you can have an atomizer tank, and it's only going to cost you $9. And these things are really nice. I mean, I really like them. I'll take this over a cartomizer any day. I went through one atomizer already, and it lasted a month. And so for $9 a month, and you get better flavor and vapor production than a cartomizer, in my opinion. I say it's worth the $9. If you buy a pack of 5 cartomizers for $10, that's, you go through one of them a month anyway, so it's about the same. Really happy with that. Really happy. Okay, that's my take on the Reactor Atomizer Tank Cartomizer and Tank Shell upgrade, or tank tube upgrade. And keep on vaping.